This was during a road trip I was on from a small town in Maine all the way out to the Midwest. Let's just say there was a situation going on with my family that I felt warranted me to go out and visit for a while. So this whole trip wasn't well planned, and typically I wouldn't even drive. I'd just fly out there. Welcome to Room 13, where every story hides a secret, a place where the unknown comes to life, and the eerie is all too real. Here, we uncover the chilling tales that lurk in the shadows. But anyway, on my second day, I realized I was falling behind a bit. Guess all the gas station stops, meals, and just resting took up more time than I thought. So I tried to make up for it by driving further into the night. I was already in the part of the Midwest where there's basically nothing, just straight, flat, and empty roads for miles on end. The rain came in slowly, eventually ramping up to a full-on wind and thunderstorm by the time it was dark out. I actually enjoy driving in the rain, but at night and in the middle of nowhere, not so much. Got bad enough. I pulled off at the next rest stop to see if it would slow down a bit before continuing the drive. I don't know much about rest stops or have many to compare it to, but I thought this one was fairly decent. It was quiet aside from the rain. No cars or trucks. And when I ran in to use the restroom, it was clean and nice. I got back in my car and sat the seat back, waiting for a while. No idea how long, because at some point I passed out. I woke up what I think was an hour-ish later to a bright flash followed by the car shaking and a huge lightning strike bursting my eardrums. I sat up and checked the time, 12:05 a.m. Then I looked around. Still, no cars were out there, and the storm had gotten even worse. Or maybe it just seemed that way because it was so loud. The more I started to wake up and listened, I started thinking it was way too loud, like something was off about it. I looked behind my seat and froze for a moment. One of the back doors was open. The one on the passenger side just left slightly cracked open. Water was dripping onto the seats, and that whole side was soaked, so it had been open for a while. I didn't know how the hell that was possible. No way. I drove for hours with it open, and I never opened it while I was at the rest stop. And obviously, no way it opened on its own. I did a double take, looking around the parking lot again, but there wasn't a single person or car or anything out there. My heart rate started spiking as I got out and quickly closed the door, then got back in. I was sure I'd likely left my car unlocked after getting out to use the restroom when I got there. Being distracted by the storm and everything, but who opened my car door? And from the looks of it, nothing was missing. It's like someone just came around, saw I was sleeping, opened the door quietly, and got in, then just left. Probably not wanting to wake me up by slamming the door closed. I don't know what really happened while I was asleep, but I was way too creeped out to stay. I turned the car on and drove back onto the highway. It was still dangerous to be driving in this weather, but I just needed to get to another place to pull off at. I drove 20 minutes, thinking the whole time about how creepy and strange this whole thing was before finding a gas station. It was alone, just off the highway, and I genuinely have no clue if it was closed for the night or vacant. But I figured it didn't matter. I wasn't going to be there long and definitely wasn't falling asleep again. Just needed to wait for the storm to pass. I parked right in front of the building. The place was about as unsettling as you're probably thinking. All the lights were off, and with the rain pouring down, I could barely see anything that wasn't directly in front of my headlights. I didn't have any service out there, so I couldn't do much on my phone. I locked the doors and just sat there and stared at the fog and rain. Only 20-ish minutes went by when I felt myself spacing out and looked around again to keep my mind occupied. And that's when I saw another car. It was parked only a couple spaces away from me, dark black with tinted windows and all of its headlights off. I never saw it pull in. I had to wonder if this was someone following me, even though I'd never seen them before. Two really strange occurrences in the middle of nowhere during a storm seemed like a really big coincidence. Almost too big. I stared at their car for a minute, as if somehow it would help me figure out what they were doing here, but the sudden sound of the back door handle getting pulled startled me. I spun around and saw a figure standing by the window. He moved away right when he saw me looking at him. I immediately started freaking out, trying to see where he went. The guy sort of disappeared somewhere behind my car, and I couldn't see or hear anything. But this whole thing basically confirmed I'd been followed, seeing as he tried to open the same door as before. Thank God I locked it this time. I fumbled around for a second, flustered and trying to think straight, messing with the headlights to see if there was some way to light up the darkness behind the car. While I was doing this, I started to hear but also feel thumps against the back of my car. He was definitely still there, hitting my car or doing something. I finally came to my senses and just put it in drive. As I pulled out, I couldn't even see the guy. I drove just about 2 hours to a small town that I could report it to. And that's where I also checked the back of my car. There were scratches, dents, and pry marks on the trunk. It looked like they'd used a knife or something sharp to try to force the trunk open. I don't know if he was trying to get what was inside or if he was trying to get inside. Assuming this was the same guy. If he were just trying to rob me, wouldn't he have done it while I was sleeping and when he opened the door at the rest stop? I really have no idea what happened. All I know is it scared the out of me and could have been a whole lot worse.
Hey, the stories aren't over yet, but consider subscribing and leaving a like. With a simple tap on the screen, you help our work a lot. Now, without further ado, let's move on to the next story.